Ben Hatch from Harcourts here.
And Paul Blakely from Harcourts.
We've just come off a record 2022 and our office conducted over 1,070 sales. So the big question is in real estate is where to in 2023?
We're going to talk about supply and demand, we're going to talk about affordability, and we're going to talk about employment and migration. So let's start with affordability. What does that mean? Firstly, affordability is what it costs to buy products against the income that you currently make. Currently, WA is the most affordable state in the country. It was less than 10 years ago, we were the most expensive.
The cost of living in WA is one of the lowest, if not the lowest in the country, whilst average incomes are one of the highest. We are a top state when it comes to the highest income per household, being bested only by the ACT and Northern Territory. This balance puts WA in a very good position when it comes to general affordability, and the state government is making this public. If we dig a little deeper, we discover that WA also has one of the lowest median house prices in the country. This is a result of the strict border measures the WA government implemented during COVID-19, which limited migration and in turn suffocated growth in the value of real estate. The eastern states property market boomed, and although our property market did increase, it increased significantly less in comparison to other states. Cost of living, median house prices and average income are all affordability factors that are extremely important when we look at the effect of interest rates in the real estate market. Interest rates and inflation go hand in hand, with interest rates rising to reduce consumer spending to attempt to stabilise inflation. Interest rates are set by the Reserve Bank of Australia. However, the effect of rising rates is experienced more intensely in areas of lesser affordability. WA's strong economy and high affordability means that recent rises in interest rates have had a lesser impact on the market than they have done in the eastern states, where affordability is lower or definitely peaking. In fact, at present, bank sales, foreclosures and repossessions are at an all-time low in WA. So even with the predicted 2023 interest rate rises, any potential increase in bank sales would be comfortably absorbed by the current buyer demand from owner-occupiers and investors alike.
So next we're going to talk about supply and demand. So supply and demand is a simple equation. When supply is high and demand is low, we call this the buyer's market, as the lack of demand gives buyers more power for negotiation. The opposite end of the scales, low supply and high demand, is called a seller's market. 2022 was a very strong seller's market as demand skyrocketed, due in no small part to the great migration we saw from the eastern states, and for a first time in many years, we saw a large increase of buyers in the investor sector. In fact, migration pushed WA housing vacancy rate to 0.3%, the lowest the state has ever seen, with overseas migration into WA set to significantly increase and take effect in 2023, encouraged by our jobs, beautiful way of life, and not to mention the strong US dollar. Overseas immigration and overseas investors are seeing good bang for their buck. It is safe to say that the high demand for real estate in Western Australia will continue well into 2023. And the final piece of the real estate puzzle is employment. It's no secret that WA has one of the highest mining resource sectors in the whole of Australia. In fact, WA has the highest national and international level of mining companies. These companies choose to set up in WA, not only because of our rich natural resources and harbours for export, but also because they trust our government and our people. As the world searches for greener solutions and China looks to reopen its manufacturing in 2023, the mining sector in WA can expect stability as it looks to meet the increase in resource demands. This demand will ensure a plethora of employment opportunities and brings a massive amount of wealth into WA.
So what goes hand in hand with employment? Well, that's migration. We've already been seeing strong levels of inquiry from both investors and people looking to relocate their families. We know the national government are also earmarking for 300,000 people to enter this country from overseas. And as we've already discussed, there is no better place to live than WA, and especially in Mandurah.
So what does this mean for real estate in 2023?
Well, as we've heard, we know strong supply and demand, affordability, and obviously employment and migration are positive aspects in this state. We have heard some rumblings around interest rate rises, and we do expect 1 or 2 more interest rate rises before they start to taper off or even decline. But because of our affordability, we don't believe it's going to have a massive impact like it has on the eastern states.
Regardless of all the above, there's never been a better time for owner-occupiers to transition in and out of real estate. And there's never been a better time for investors to invest in Western Australia and achieve high yields for their investment properties.
So no matter what the market is doing, there's been no better time to buy. Call the team at Harcourts Mandurah. I'm Paul Blakely.
And I'm Ben Hatch, and thank you very much for watching.